We'll now introduce today's witnesses. Ms. Noem has served as the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security since January 25th, 2025. She previously served as the governor of the great state of South Dakota and was our colleague here in the House of Representatives. And we welcome our witness and thank her for appearing today and for the work that she is doing. We will begin by swearing you in. You know how this works, Madam Secretary. Would you please rise and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, so help you God? I do. Let the record show that reflect that the witness has answered in the affirmative. Please know that your written testimony will be entered into the record in its entirety. Accordingly, we ask that you summarize your testimony. And Madam Secretary, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member Raskin, for your opening statements. And I look forward to discussing the work that the Department of Homeland Security does each and every day to defend our homeland. I also want to take a personal privilege and thank my husband for being here, too. He's going to have to go catch a flight in a few hours, but I'm glad he could be here today. And then I want to remind you of why we're all here. Like, I've had people ask me over and over again, you know, Kristi, why did you say to President Trump that you would do this job? And I said, because this is going to be a difficult job. It's going to be a hard job. We're going to have to secure our border and make sure we're going after dangerous criminal illegals and remove them from our country. And every day, we're going to have to make tough decisions to uphold the law, but to make sure that the consequences for breaking the law are put in place as well. The one thing I would say is I wasn't quite prepared for was the heartbreaking stories I would hear. The families that have lost their children, their brothers and their sisters, to dangerous people that came into this country that never should have been here to begin with. They never should have been here, and then they perpetuated violent crimes against these people. I heard one story, I never forget hearing Rachel Morin's mom tell the story of how she was killed. And to listen to a mom talk about how her daughter was slammed into her head exploded, and then he raped her and left her dead, when knowing that Rachel had 5 kids too, that now didn't have a mom anymore, and that individual should have never been in this country. So the reason that I do this job every single day is for that, is that somebody has to do the right thing and tell the stories of these families and make sure that we don't sit around here and make political pot shots on falsehoods and lies like I just heard from the ranking member, that instead we do the right thing to defend these families and remember their children. Behind me are families with children. These are the children's names that we've lost. Weston Funder, Megan Booz, Carlos Wolf, Sander Cohen, Ryan Lang, Drew Swan, Sydney Shurkin, Jesse Bira, Heaven Lee Nelson, Dana and Ricky Keem, Austin Babcock, Michael Bowden, Logan Harris, Leo Toe, Haley King, Rain Reese, Wesley Green, Krisha Odette, and we are still very blessed to have little Miss Delilah with us. Delilah's right behind me, and she and I are good friends, and she was hit by a vehicle, by a truck that was driven by someone who's in this country illegally and had an illegal CDL. That accident should have never happened because he never should have been in this country, and he certainly shouldn't have been behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler. But she's still with us, and she's doing good, and she's telling her story with her dad and her family and continuing to make sure that we do the right thing here on Capitol Hill. Listen, the Department of Homeland Security was established after the attacks on 9/11. It was established to defend our homeland, to put all the agencies together that have that mission, and that's what we do each and every day. We make sure that we enforce the law and that we protect our homeland, and that the families that live here, the American citizens, are our #1 priority. For 10 straight months, Border Patrol has released 0 illegal aliens into this country. In President Trump's first historic year back in office, over 3 million illegal aliens have left our country. We've arrested 700,000 of them and detained them and removed them from the country, but over 2.2 million of them left voluntarily. You know why? Because we told them to. We marketed to them. We ran a media campaign. It was the most effective media campaign in the history of this country. $39 billion of taxpayer savings because those people left and got off of our programs, and we didn't have to deport them at a cost of $18,000 apiece. They went on their own, and it saved the taxpayers $39 billion because we told this country and the 8 countries they were coming from that we were enforcing our laws and you couldn't stay here illegally anymore. ICE has arrested over 1,500 known or suspected terrorists. 1,500 that Joe Biden let in over that open border during that invasion that we found and we've removed. And we're going to continue to do that work because we don't know how many more there are still here. Over 7,700 gang members. And Mr. Chairman, Joe Biden lost 450,000 children that they allowed the cartels to traffic over the border. They used them, they abused them, they put them with government sponsors and paid government sponsors to abuse them and traffic them. We have found 145,000 of them, but I'm not going to stop until we find them all, and we'll continue to do that. Fentanyl trafficking over the southern border is down 56% because of President Trump. We continue to stop drugs. 1.7 lethal doses of drugs have been stopped from coming into our country in the last year. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's amazing to me how once President Trump came into office, they quit talking about the drug epidemic. The media doesn't cover it anymore, do they? That's because there's 1.7 billion people that are still alive today in this world because we've stopped them. And that invasion over the southern border made those cartels rich. You want to know why they're so sophisticated now, why they have high-tech weapons, why they have drones, why they're able to be so successful? Is because they were allowed to do whatever they wanted to for 4 years. And Biden enriched them, and the Democrat Party enriched them so that they could perpetuate violence against the United States. Mr. Chairman, I could go on, but I will look forward to the conversation today, and I look forward to continuing to fight for America. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. Thank you for that opening statement.